Well, good day everyone and welcome to Seattle. It's a beautiful fall day here in Seattle. The leaves are changing. I did a review recently actually on my MV Agusta doing some mountain rides, probably my last fall ride in the mountain this season. But today I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about my Kawasaki Ninja 1100 SX. Now, I've reviewed this bike a few times on the channel. I've also reviewed the previous version of the bike, the 1000. Now, a few months ago, I installed an Akrapovic slip-on on this bike. And really, I did that because I didn't like the look or the weight of the stock pipe. The more I rode the bike though, the more I realized that this bike's just screaming out for something a little bit more than that. And so I have now installed a full Akrapovic header system on this bike. And that reduced the weight a lot and it made it look a lot nicer. So this is the Akrapovic slip-on exhaust right here. And that looks fine if that's what you're into. But I'm looking for a bit more than that, as I said. So now, underneath here, you will notice, well, probably won't notice as much on the camera, so I'll put an image up in the corner, that the bread box is gone and we now have a full system set up. I've also had my friends at Two Wheel Dynaworks, linked up here somewhere, install their latest ECU map for the bike. Now, a lot of you have actually asked me to do a video riding this bike to hear what the exhaust sounds like. Now, for the record, I'm actually not a huge fan of really loud exhausts on motorcycles unless it's at the track. I don't really want to wake my neighbors up. I like my neighbors. So I'm going to show some video of this bike just riding around the neighborhood here, and then I'm going to get on the freeway and see how it sounds there. And that way we get a sort of feeling for it. Are you going to upset the neighbors, or are you just going to upset those on the freeway? Now, if you want loud pipes, hey, far be it from me to stop you from doing that. But this is really focused on, is it a really acceptable noise for those of us that want the performance of a full system, but don't want to end up getting booted out of the neighborhood? So it's a pretty nice day here in the neighborhood. I'm going to start her up and obviously gear up and get ready to unleash this beautiful motorcycle. I really love this bike. It's one of those bikes that just keeps getting better for me, and you can see why it's sort of the OG of modern sport tourers today. It's one of the few that are really continuing to advance and not sort of sitting on their laurels. I think Kawasaki have done a really good job so far continuing to evolve this motorcycle. Alright, so I'm rolling through the Washington Arboretum Park here in Seattle. It's probably one of my favorite spots to ease into a ride because you've got this peaceful canopy of trees and a few twists and turns, and then the road starts opening up as you head toward the 520 bridge and eventually the freeway. It's the kind of route that really lets you feel the range of your bike, especially with a setup like this, even if there is a minivan in front of you, which there is right now. So I wanted to use this section to talk about why I upgraded from the Akrapovic slip-on to the full system, and why pairing that with a proper ECU map makes a big difference. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a good sounding exhaust as much as the next rider, but for me, performance always comes first and sound second. I'm not trying to be the loudest guy in the neighborhood, I'm trying to feel more connected to the bike, and that's the real payoff. And with the full Akrapovic headers now that I have and the updated ECU map from Two Wheel Dynaworks, it's not just about making more noise. It's about a sharper throttle response, smoother fueling, and unlocking the bike's potential in a way that actually feels better on real roads like these ones I'm going to show you. And yeah, you can hear now already the sound is cleaner and deeper, but it's not obnoxious, and I think there's a huge difference between a refined, performance-oriented tone and something that's just loud for the sake of being loud. So initially, first thoughts are that the setup strikes that balance pretty well. Now I'm also trying a different audio recording setup this time, so I'm running a Insta mic. Now don't confuse that with Insta360. Insta mic are actually a startup out of the US who just got acquired by Zoom. And not the Zoom video conference people, the other Zoom people that make voice recorders and audio recorders. So it's a tiny little mic. It's about the size of a DJI mini mic, if you use those, and it records really great floating FM audio in mono, and I've got that actually underneath the cowling of the seat. So I'm really curious as to how this is going to sound when I get into post-edit. Definitely would like your feedback on it. I'm a big fan of their mics, and I'll put a link somewhere about them as well. Not sponsoring by them or any of that stuff, just a good mic to check out. One of the funny things I find about doing vlogging while I'm riding a motorcycle is I always get stuck behind like a bus or a truck or something like this. I suppose it comes with the territory. But let's get out of here and head to the freeway and see how this thing sounds. I'm going to shut up a little bit other than when I'm changing through the gears. And yeah, let's let her rip and see how she goes. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little blast on the freeway and a little neighborhood run to get to the freeway, just to sort of give you a chance and an opportunity to hear the exhaust in action. And later on in the video I'm going to talk a little bit about the performance as well, and how you might want to think about whether or not to actually do an ECU map and upgrade your exhaust and all that fun stuff or not. Before I do that, I wanted to touch a little bit on this Chigee device that I have in front of me. I've done reviews on this before in a few different units, but I wanted to just give you a quick update on some of the changes that I've made to this since I installed it. Now, I've run a video on this before, but it's probably worth just talking about it again. This is my Chigee CarPlay system that I have here on my bike. Now, you can see everything you'd expect if you're running CarPlay or Android Auto, all my apps, my mapping, all of those things are there. And that's great. I've got my podcasts, all of those things you'd expect on your phone. But what I've added to this is a few things. First of all, what I added was I added the Chigee camera. So in this now I have video. And what you can see there is that is the front view. And then I can also go and take a look at the back view. And what this does is it actually records video all the time. So it doesn't matter when I'm riding, it just automatically starts recording video from the front and from the back. And then it automatically will delete footage when I want it to delete footage. So you're not going to take up too much space. Some people might choose to run this as somewhat of a rear view camera, maybe as you're riding, if you like that. Some may just want it for peace of mind. So this is the camera on the rear, just a really small little camera, pretty nicely integrated here. And then around the front, this is the camera on the front, also pretty nicely integrated. So I'm generally not a fan of too many gadgets on motorcycles. They kind of distract from the ride. But I can tell you that I'm really sick and tired of that, you know, thinking about getting rear-ended or someone on their phone or whatever. And so it's kind of nice peace of mind to have a camera there should I need it. Talking about safety devices, This is another device that I like. This is called the BrakeFree light. Now I've had this light, I've been using these lights for almost 10 years since they first came out. It's really simple. It works on an accelerometer, so as I brake, it'll light up and it'll be lighting all the time regardless. And so again, motorcyclists, we tend to be prone to getting rear-ended by people on their cars or distracted drivers. That tends to be a thing more and more nowadays. So for me, I'm a super all gear all the time kind of person. So now I've got this brake light. I have the cameras should I need some footage at any time. I'm also running my Dainese air vest here. Let's just say that I like to be prepared. Talk for a second about what's really happening and what's happening with the ECU, because this is where things get interesting. Every modern motorcycle ships with an OEM ECU map, and that's the engine control unit software from the factory. It controls fueling, it controls ignition timing, throttle response. It's how the bike responds to your input. And here's the thing, it's designed to meet a long list of requirements, not just performance, but emissions compliance, especially for strict EU5 standards as well. That means that manufacturers have to dial in components, which means you get things like lean fueling in the low RPM range, softer throttle response, and sometimes weird surging or flat spots, which a lot of riders have talked about. And that's all in the name of keeping things clean and quiet, essentially on the emissions testing bench when they get tested. So here's where a custom ECU map paired with a quality full exhaust comes in. This Akrapovic system that I'm running can really change the game. And it basically lets the bike breathe in a way it should have from the start. You get crisper throttle response, smoother power delivery, and honestly, you start to feel what the engine was actually designed to do without all the handcuffs. So it's not just about chasing horsepower, it's about unlocking the true character of the bike, the soul of the engine that gets sort of muffled by regulations and factory tuning. Now, of course, there's always the question of, well, how should you do it? And that depends. And should you do it or not? That also depends. If you're the kind of rider that wants more engagement and better mid-range and a refined but sort of purposeful sound, then yeah, I mean, a setup like what I have here might be for you. If you're happy with your bike as is, or you're in a region with tight noise laws or emissions, then it might not be worth the hassle going for the exhaust. But getting a tune will absolutely make the OEM exhaust perform and feel a lot better. And I can tell you that I've run with and without the exhaust with the tunes from Two Wheel Dynaworks and get an absolute result, straight away. I suppose that for me, it's absolutely been worthwhile. It's made my Ninja 1100 SX feel more alive and more responsive and feels more like it's mine, if you know what I mean. And at the end of the day, that's what it's really all about. And I think maybe the designers of these bikes, I think deep down inside really like that we do this as well. Because you can imagine you spend all this time building a beautiful engine and a beautiful bike. All the performance you want from that bike just gets neutered the minute it hits different parts of the world. Of course, on the racetrack, that's completely different. And so why not have a bike that feels great on the street, that isn't feeling neutered by all these EU standards? Yeah, there's definitely an argument for and against. For me, though, I'm firmly in the for camp. Now, it's also worth mentioning, of course, it's a given, that don't expect your bike to be any more fuel efficient when you do this. They will not be more fuel efficient for sure. So, think about the bike you want to put this on. So I really appreciate all of you tuning in to the channel. For those of you that maybe you're new to a channel, motorcycle reviews, accessory reviews, my content is really focused on street and track. I try not to sensationalize things, try not to scream and yell into the microphone, try to keep as calm as I can, although I'm definitely getting excited when I'm on the bike. And I also have a podcast. We have a podcast and I've interviewed everyone from MotoGP crew chiefs to racers to coaches. And if you haven't tuned into the podcast, it's Kiwi Moto 72. And that podcast is available on all the major podcast platforms. And the video version is available here on YouTube. And last but not least, please like and subscribe. If you're enjoying this content and you made it this far in the video, I'm hoping that you will keep watching and like, subscribe, and tell all your mates about it. Thanks for tuning in again. It's been great having you all aboard. And if there's any feedback or any suggestions or videos you'd like me to do in the future, let me know. I'm all ears. Cheers. Bye.